si President Trump is a type of politician who is disruptive. Is a type of politician who imposes his own will. So, and kung ganyan, isang tao lang pala ang nagdidikta kung anong pwede gawin, halimbawa ng isang international tribunal, kung matakot sila ultimately because of these sanctions, although they're trying to resist, nakikita natin na the conditions aren't fair. And because of that, I believe more countries will realize na walang kwenta itong being a part of the ICC because walang fair na type of justice na pwede niyang ma-impose.
Sa sanksyon ng US sa ICC judges, sa mga ICC judges. Can you elaborate more on that, Doc, para sa ating mga kababayan?
Well, firstly, gusto nating sabihin na there is no such thing as global justice. Justice is an issue that should be left to independent sovereign states to deal with. To make the conditions of justice possible kasi, the starting point should be equal. Now, when it comes to global justice, in the global arena, the conditions are not equal. The starting point of countries is power and the hegemonic relationships among nations. And because of that, we see that the ICC is losing relevance and the United States and Russia are making it manifest na walang kwenta itong ginagawa nila kasi they can only deal with and try leaders of small, powerless countries pero wala silang magawa when it comes to powerful and countries that have the means and influence, including the resources, to be able to deal with them. So yun ang nagiging problema natin. So given that, kasi uneven and unequal ang sitwasyon, how can you consider kung ano man ang magiging desisyon ng ICC as a just and fair decision when they can only deal with the leaders of small countries such as ours? And in that regard, I do not believe that they have the moral claim to be able to render any judgment against our former president.
Kaya nga, Doc, napatanong yung ilan sa ating mga kababayan, saan ba nanggagaling yung lehitimong otoridad ng ICC? Sa international law ba talaga o sa geopolitical power?
Well, dalawang bagay kasi yan. We have what we call ideal jury. Dito sa ideal jury, sa international law, pwede nating sabihin na countries can enter into an agreement, itong tinatawag natin na Rome Statute. Pero there is also what we call real politics. And so itong global hegemonic order actually, when it comes to global politics, yun ang nagdidikta. So meaning to say, itong ideal jury which the ICC is founded on is something na wala talaga siyang relevance when it comes to these issues. Kasi what it can try are these parang helpless countries na walang magawa in terms of defending their sovereignty and independence against this hegemonic order in the world. So if you look at it, ang Western media may bias na against the former president. And given that, we cannot expect a fair and just trial in that regard.
Opo, dahil pinapakita, di ba, hindi ho ba, itong US sanctions na ito laban sa mga US judges, ICC judges, na ang international na batas ay umiira lamang kapag hindi sumasalungat sa interes ng mga makakapangyarihan o makapangyarihan.
Well, this is precisely the problem and the issue. Okay? Kasi if you come to think of it, kung pag-iisipan natin at pagtutuunan natin ng pansin, it's critical to look at the context. Kasi if they can only punish, well, in that respect, those leaders who do not have the means to in any way influence the outcomes of these big global events. So how can they assert claim na meron silang moral ascendancy to try leaders such as President Duterte when in fact kung titingnan mo, Netanyahu allegedly through the what is happening in Gaza has caused the death to more than 60,000 people, more than half of them children and women. If you come to think of Russia, hundreds of thousands of people have been destroyed and thousands more killed. And yet the ICC feels that it is actually helpless. So ano ang substantive argument ng ICC to pursue justice for the world. Okay, so when in fact, it only chooses those countries in terms of implementing the type of justice that it wants to impose. So given that, nakikita natin na in terms of moral reasoning, wala nang silbi ang ICC. It has lost its credibility.
Oo, malinaw po yung Doc na sabi po ninyo bukod sa Amerika, may Russia pa. Itong Russia, kinonvict pa talaga nila itong mga ICC judges at yung chief prosecutor in absentia. At sabi mo nga, at baga ito yung tugon at paghihiganti, retaliation baga ng Russia doon sa inilabas ng ICC na arrest warrant laban kay President Vladimir Putin.
Yan nga, ang nagiging problema nito is it is as if we are surrendering our sovereignty to the ICC. Now, ano bang pwedeng magawa natin? We cannot do anything in the same way as Russia did. Pero ang pwede nating gawin is kailangan nating i-assert yung sovereignty natin. We have a functioning justice system. Wag naman nating ipakita sa mundo na our democracy is dysfunctional, that we cannot try the president here. Okay? For the sake of argument, for instance, if there is validity to these allegations, then we can do it here kasi we are a sovereign and independent state. So we cannot let Western societies make judgment upon our people, upon our history, upon our leaders. Because if that becomes the case, then we are submitting ourselves to these unfair conditions in the global arena when it comes to the issue of global justice.
Po, ang tingin kasi ng ilang, lalo na ng mga kritiko, Doc, tayo daw isang failed state, yung Pilipinas, pagdating sa hustisya.
Well, that is a mistake and that is the way Western media sometimes portrays us. Ang isang problema din dito dahil sa antagonism of the former president against the mainstream local media, they also portray President Duterte in a bad way. Parang unfair kasi you have to look at it in terms of context, in terms of the proper historical narrative. Bakit ba naging presidente si President Duterte? He fought against the elite. He fought and stood up against the oligarchs. And because of that, if you look at mainstream media in the Philippines, a lot of its interest is something that's influenced by the oligarchy, influenced by the elites. And because Duterte is the arch enemy of the elite, this is how they portrayed our president. Kaya ito ang nakukuha ng mga nagbabasa ng media outlets in the Philippines doon sa labas. And because of that, the framing, yung pag-iisip ng Western societies against President Duterte is they only see him in a narrow way, myopic tunnel vision. Nakikita lang nila yung mga allegations that are portrayed in the negative way, pero hindi nila nakikita the types of change, reform, and the kind of radical leadership that he used in order to at least faced up to the enemies of the Filipino people. Sino ba ang tunay na kalaban natin? It's not President Duterte. Itong mga elitista sa bansa natin because they are the ones who have been oppressing our people. And because of what has happened to the president, it's as if we are using the ICC, arming the elite in order to, in that respect, put into this very difficult condition the former president. But who are we surrendering? Sino bang sinusurrender natin? Hindi si PRRD. We are surrendering actually our sovereignty to the hegemonic power of these powerful countries who actually control the world. Yung ICC is just an arm, but instead of pursuing justice, we have seen, given the issues concerning Russia, Israel, and the United States, nakikita natin na it has lost ground. Wala siyang moral credibility. Pwede pang sabihin may legal foundation siya because of the Rome Statute, but in terms of moral credibility, I think there is a big problem there.
Kahit ba tayo ay tinuturing na third world country, Doc, pwede, maaari hubang gawin natin the same itong ginawa po ng US at ng Russia laban po sa mga ICC judges?
Well, yes, we can make what we can in terms of pursuing what we believe is just. Pero we are powerless. Kasi sa global hegemonic order, yung starting point ng real politics is power. Russia, China, the United States, they dictate the terms and conditions in global affairs. So given that we are a helpless, powerless nation, pwede natin sabihin na, we are against what the ICC is doing to our former president, but point of the matter is the conditions here, ang prevailing conditions dito sa atin, antagonistic ang present administration to the former president. But at the same time, even if pagpalagay natin there is a new administration and it sees things in a favorable way kay PRRD, still we will be helpless because yung kondisyon wala in terms of how we can assert ourselves, in terms of how we can enforce whatever we believe is most proper and appropriate from a legal and from a moral vantage point. So nakikita natin na it's all about power. ICC is exerting its influence against the Filipino people because we are helpless against the ICC. But at the same time, we also realize that the ICC is helpless when it comes to Russia and the United States. Walang magawa. Kahit justices nila, they are reduced into their bare minimum. Hindi nga sila maka-order ng pagkain online. And that only explains na sa mundo, there is no such thing as justice.
Walang saysay na, kumbaga Dok, itong paghahanap natin ng hustisya sa isang institusyong madaling gipitin po ng economic sanctions.
Well, ginigipit nila si former president, and given these realities and realizations, nakikita natin na somewhat, although we continue, alam naman natin na si Attorney Nicholas Kaufman still submits to the processes and protocols of the ICC, being faithful as regard to these processes. But at the same time, we should also take the caveat. So, we cannot put so much hope in an institution that has lost its moral relevance and credibility.
Oo, so hindi po makatarungan. Bago ko lang ipasa kay Partner Admar, maaari bang maging makatarungan pa rin yung sistema ng hustisya na hindi pantay yung epekto ng batas sa malalakas at mahihina?
Well, there's no justice. Tama ka, Jade. Hindi mo sabing makatarungan yan siya kung ang judgment nila is something that's only possible kung ang tao na nandun, that they are trying, comes from a country who feels helpless and powerless.
Doc, magandang umaga. May buntag si Admar po, no?
Good morning, Admar.
Marami po, maliban sa doon sa Amerika, dito po sa Russia, sa China, marami pang mga bansa din na umaatras or ayaw na magpasaklaw dito po sa ICC. Ano po kaya ang mensahe ng ganito pong mga hakbang ng iba pang mga bansang recent lang ngayon na nagpahayag is ang Venezuela po, no? Una na rin nagpahayag yung Hungary at yung iba pang mga bansa dyan po sa South Africa.
Well, these countries are beginning to realize that the ICC is losing its moral and political relevance. Kasi tingnan natin so for instance, in terms of the economic aspect of global realities, okay, you have the World Trade Organization, and then it wants fair trade among nations. Pero nakita mo si President Trump, he imposed heavy tariffs even against our country. Now we are a developing country. He unilaterally has imposed these tariffs to the detriment of globalization. That you look into the military aspect of this. Okay, yung United States invading Iraq, invading Afghanistan, may nagawa ba ang United Nations? Wala din. So we have seen a lot of these international tribunals, these international courts, they're losing ground. Kasi when it comes to the global order, yung mga powerful countries lang ang nagdidikta. So that kung member ka doon, you realize na ang kondisyon is uneven and unequal. Ano pang silbi? Becoming a part of it when in fact, these superpowers are actually the ones who decide and dictate kung ano at kung saan, ano ang magiging picture, okay, ng trade, ng political, including the economic order in the world. So given that, I don't think there's value even dito sa West Philippine Sea. Okay, nanalo tayo sa arbitral tribunal, but look at what is happening. Okay, so we're being continually bullied, and then the antagonistic reaction of the Philippine government against China has exacerbated the situation. So given these things, nakikita natin a lot of these things need a proper kind of contextualization. Tingnan natin ang history, tingnan natin ang tama na narrative. Because if we insert ourselves into these issues, nakikita natin na we are put at a disadvantage. Kung gusto natin ng just na lipunan ng isang mundo na makatarungan, then we have to look at a fair starting point. And in that respect, itong ICC, it's not fair ground. Kasi nakikita natin na it can only prosecute leaders of countries that are powerless, but it cannot do anything it cannot implement whatever judgment it gives to the leaders of powerful nations.
May real talk naman yung presidente ng National Assembly ng Venezuela. Ang sabi niya rito, and I quote, "It is to demonstrate yung plano nilang pagtiwalag, it is to demonstrate and denounce to the world the uselessness and subservience of an institution that should serve to protect the people." Doc, ano masasabi mo?
Well, ang isang bansa kasi, yung dignidad natin is something that rests upon our sovereignty. Meaning, we are independent as a nation. We pursue the common good based on our own democratic ideals. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Tingnan natin ang history natin. Tingnan natin yung tradisyon natin. Tingnan natin kung ano ang kultura natin. We cannot allow the Western moral framework to impose its will upon our people. Kasi hindi nila naiintindihan kung ano yung collective consciousness ng mga Pilipino halimbawa. Anong pwedeng gawin ng bansa natin in asserting against this type of subjugation? Parang colonial history ito siya na nagpapatuloy sa ngayon by means of these international tribunals. We have to assert ourselves and maintain our sovereignty and independence, not only on paper, but also in action. So, I believe na it's high time. Tama si President Duterte when he left the ICC. Yet, what his enemies are doing, they're simply taking advantage of the situation. And of course, rendering the president to the ICC in The Hague is illegal. Yun ang nangyari doon. Parang binaypass yung mga legal processes natin dito ni Supreme Court. Hindi nakagalaw, hindi nakapagbigay ng desisyon bago inilabas si President Duterte patungo sa The Hague. Parang diretso-diretso na. There was a blatant disrespect for the rule of law, our own rule of law. So paano natin makikita, how can we defend our independence, our sovereignty? How can we defend our identity as a nation if we simply allow these Western powers that be to impose their will against us?
Opo. At nakikita niyo po ba na mas marami pa pong mga bansa, no? Kasi yung mga malalaking bansa, mga makapangyarihang bansa, gaya na nabanggit natin, Estados Unidos, ito pong Russia, itong China, at marami pa, tumutuligsa dito sa ICC. Nakikita niyo po ba na marami pang aatras or hindi na magpapasaklaw dito po sa ICC, Doc?
Well, President Trump is changing the global political and economic order. And nakikita natin na itong issue na ito is ideological. As we have seen the reshaping the politics and the economy of the world, the ICC will be losing so much ground that at the end of the day, more countries will realize na wala siyang silbi because it doesn't really serve the purpose of global justice. So, we will have to wait and see kung ano ang kalalabasan nito 2-3 years from now. But I believe kahit si President Trump, he's demanding changes in the Rome Statute. And bakit niya pwedeng gawin yan? Okay, so, he imposes sanctions whenever the ICC doesn't agree. So kung tingnan mo, it's just one powerful man against an institution that's supported by many countries by way of a mutual treaty. But si President Trump is a type of politician who is disruptive. Is a type of politician who imposes his own will. So, and kung ganyan, isang tao lang pala ang nagdidikta kung anong pwede gawin, halimbawa ng isang international tribunal, kung matakot sila ultimately because of these sanctions, although they're trying to resist, nakikita natin na the conditions aren't fair. And because of that, I believe more countries will realize na walang kwenta itong being a part of the ICC because walang fair na type of justice na pwede niyang ma-impose given these parameters that I have mentioned.
Opo, at marami na rin nakakapansin na medyo may halong politika pag inire-raise na po dyan sa ICC po, Doc.
Well, one time, in-interview ako ng isang Dutch reporter. Then I explained to him ano itong konteksto ng war on drugs. It's a problem of law enforcement. It's not one man making these decisions to kill civilian lives who are involved or are using drugs. It's actually a leader of a country who's fighting against a criminal issue, these criminal syndicates who are involved in drugs. Pero the way pinuportray siya ng mainstream media dito sa bansa natin and the way it has been captured by an international audience, parang nagiging one-sided and narrow ang portrayal kay former President Duterte. Hindi nakikita yung tinatawag natin na common interest ng mga Pilipino, which is a secure and safe society. Na yun ang gusto ng Presidente. That's why he engaged in this war on drugs. It's actually a war against drug syndicates. So ito ang hindi nila naiintindihan, hindi nila nakikita given the one-sidedness of the reporting. So in that respect, so how can we say the ICC in terms of what it is doing right now is giving justice to this very difficult issue that the former president is being confronted with?
Opo, and nakikita niyo po ba may kaibahan o similarity po yung ginawang hakbang ng former administration doon po sa ibang bansa like kagaya po doon sa Brazil? Nagkaroon din po sila ng matinding war on drugs din po doon at sa iba pang mga bansa sa paglaban po ng illegal na droga. Pero wala naman tayong naririnig na ito po yung nire-raise doon sa ICC. Meron lang mga tumutulig sa mga hakbang po na maaari naman sigurong ma-resolve within sa kanila pong mga jurisdiction o bansa.
Tama ka, Admar. Okay? Isang issue kasi dyan, kasi itong BRICS, okay, which is kabahagi itong Brazil. So nakikita natin ang politika dito. Okay? Pag yung isang leader halimbawa like President Duterte express his resistance so against Western domination, so nakikita nila na kalaban, favorable kasi sa kanila. Pero ang itong mga bansa, halimbawa like kung anong nangyari doon sa war on drugs sa Brazil, kahit sa Mexico, wala namang imik ang ICC. Bakit wala silang imik? Kasi itong mga leader na ito, they did not in any way criticize. So in the same manner as President Duterte criticized the Western hegemonic order. Kasi tayo mga Pilipino, we are continually being put into this colonial cell. Okay? Parang yung consciousness ng mga Pilipino is something that's defined by a colonial mentality. Tayo ay nasasakop pa rin ng mga dayuhang bansa. Yung pag-iisip ng mga dayuhan, yun ang tama para sa atin, which I believe is an injustice itself to the Filipino people.
Doc, huli na lang, dapat pa bang maniwala ang sambayan ng Pilipino sa ICC bilang huling hantungan ng hustisya?
Well, ang dapat nating paniwalaan yung mga sarili natin kasi tayo mga Pilipino, yung identity at dignidad natin depends on our own collective will. Dapat walang dayuhang tribunal, walang dayuhang bansa ang magdikta kung anong kahinatnan ng history natin and our fate as a people.